The Votann and Space Travel. Ivor Arnhard stood upon the bridge of his finest ship, his iron-kin brother next to him, as he then looked and nodded and stated simply, "And so, brother, we now go." And with that, the order had been given. The fleet of ships were small in number, but, as with everything else the kin did, they had it where it counted. The vessels all locked in their coordinates, triangulated with the Votann, both here and across the entire grid of the deep core. Their passage would be uneventful and very specific. It was only when they had travelled past the last hold that there would be any complexity in the process. When they did arrive, back in real space, the fleet signalled from ship to confirm this. But it was an operation done out of thoroughness alone, not out of any real concern. And it was as it always had been. For in mere days, the entire fleet came back out of the warp, exactly where they had chosen to. Exactly. Not one ship was off course, not one lost to demonic incursion, not one held in time, or sent forward or backwards. And so, the fleet then powered towards its destination, and was about to unleash the full wrath of the hold against their enemies. I, Ivor Arnhard, I return. It has been so long. Decades. I can scarce remember the corridors I now walk. Searching. I take many a wrong turn. Nothing proves you have been away, and now a stranger in a strange land, as much as that. To be lost when home. But then, although this hold would always be my home, it was not where I dwelt, not in my heart. I was searching for the one being, my brother. All those years ago, before I left, he came to me, my iron-kin brother. We had fought shoulder to shoulder at Beringer 5, the dust fields of Mandrake Majoris, the horrific belt wars against the greenskins. But I could not settle when we returned. I needed to go. I joined a crew, a prospect. I was going outside, into far space. And he came to me, and he looked at me, and just asked, "Do you understand?" I nodded. I thought I did then. I theatrically exclaimed that I was going to be someone, to do something, to find something that would enrich the Votann and our entire hold, be worthy a song of joining the ancestors. I thought I knew it all then. He merely nodded. His shoulders seemed to slouch slightly, if that was even possible for an iron-kin. But he said nothing more as he watched me leave. And it is before his dwelling that I now stand, the first place I truly wished to see when I came home. I pushed lightly on the chime, and it went off, and swiftly the door opened. He must have seen the ship dock. He knew I had returned. And there he was. He stepped back, beckoning me to enter his hearth, and so I did. Before anything, he intoned the same question. "Do you understand? Now?" I beamed at him as I responded. I thought I did. Now, I merely think I do. Perhaps But I now know more than I ever have, and I am willing and eager to learn more." My brother looked at me and intoned, "Perhaps you are more than when you set out, but you are definitely more you." "Thank you," said I. "Have you changed, my friend?" "Yes, but slower, as is our way. But yes, I have changed." "Well, I return." "Yes, but the further question is, why?" "To speak to the Carl and the Hearthspake, and to pick up invaluable resources." He says, "You have come far for a request that could have been sent a distance." I retort, "I pay homage to the Spake, to the Carl, and because I had to come home. Resources? Invaluable resources. But now you lead, according to your insignia. Well earned, I hope. Hard earned, brother, hard earned. As they should be. Always. If you lead, surely you have all the resources you need." "Nearly. But I needed permission." "Interesting." "Indeed. I had hoped you would say that. You see, the permission is granted. I would have found you no matter what. But I come to you now, because I would have you at my side. The Hearthspake has given me their full support. The hold goes to war, brother. I go to war. And I would have you beside me, as we once were, in the battle line. I will need your solid head to guide me. So, wilt thou come? Not as my subordinate, but as my brother in arms, as we strike down the foes of our fanes, our hold, and our very Votann." The Ironkin took a step backwards and nodded deeply to his brother. I will fight with thee for the Votann." "What about for friendship?" "That too, my kin. That too." "Then we go, now, this very moment." "What of those resources you required?" And the kin looked back at his brother and said, "I have them now. I have them." The Galactic Core, the home of the Leagues of Votann. The two kin sat at their desk waiting and watching, with deep anticipation. Their scanners had chirped into life only moments before, breaking what had been a long period of tedium. After the initial alarms had woken them, they had both hurried to their positions, but on discovering the nature of the alert, one had rushed off. His friend had raised an eyebrow, but had said nothing. What could be worth missing out on the only activity they had witnessed in weeks? The answer was simple, as his colleague came rushing back with snacks. The other kin beamed at him as they both now looked at the screens and chortled. For the proximity alarm had indeed identified an interloper, a Tau ship, a scout. They both watched on with twinkles in their eyes and pushed light nibbles into their faces. This would be fun. For the ship was heading directly into a gravity well, a ripper that would tear their vessel to pieces in mere seconds. They were not invited, so the kin felt absolutely no compunction to warn them. And so they watched and laughed. It was not out of hatred or rage or fear or revenge. It was the simple joy of watching an outlander ship attempt to merely survive where they thrived. It was a testament to the tenacity and will of the kin. And the show did not last long.